Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Having a look on the woods map here, that is what we did in the last video. Meanwhile I downloaded the latest picture, where I've noticed there are a few Groundstashes which we haven't covered in that loot run. There is one pretty much where we spawned in our latest video. There's a little one, there is also one bucket near the factory gate. And I also noticed that on that old map that I had earlier, there were two somewhere in the mountain stash, and now there are four apparently, and another one over here. And also here between Usa Camp and the minefield, apparently is also a ground stash. Might be a bit tricky there to find that one, unless you spawn in there. But other than that, we sort of did what we had to do with doing our circle in the woods map. This time we're gonna have a look on this map, which is the Shoreline map. We're gonna do the same. We're gonna do a Groundstash loot run. I'm not familiar with all of them, so we might have to do a bit of searching to get this one going. It all depends already on which side we spawn. These Groundstashes are numbered by the looks of it, so I might refer to them. If you look on this map and you're watching the video, then you can sort of compare. I might refer to these Groundstashes with a number. Let's have a look. Ideal would be if we have a tunnel spawn, I think. Then we can start at number 1. Yeah, 7:20 in the morning is fine. We go offline to make everything go as smooth as possible, obviously. It will be getting light. We might have a bit of a sunrise, but it should be fine. As I mentioned, I do not know all of them, so we'll have to go depending on where we spawn. That will be the first thing. We can do about 10 if we spawn on the tunnel site immediately. There are like 5 in town and then another 4 or 5 in the swamp area. If we spawn on the other side somewhere, or on customs, that would be on the resort, I mean, that would be a very bad spawn actually. On custom site would be kind of okay, then we come from the other side. But hopefully we get a tunnel spawn, that would be perfect. But that does not seem to be the case. We get a swamp spawn, that is also not that bad, I guess. This is the first house of the swamp area in a way, but I don't know exactly where that one is. It's here somewhere though. Let's have a look. I'm assuming it will be here somewhere on this thing. Apparently not. Maybe one of these bushes. This is number 6 that I'm looking for here. Let's first go to town there. See, we are, in a way we are on the tunnel side, but not completely though. I'm assuming we have customs or something as our extractions. Road to customs, and we also have the rail bridge. So we can go from west to east pretty much. And this map is 50 minutes. First one is here. What is this thing called? The ruined house fence is in scav extraction. It used to be one. Not so sure about it anymore, but they have changed some of these things. There is a ground stash here somewhere, a bucket near the fence, which I already can't find. It's on this side. one of these bushes though. I know that for sure. Or it's on the right side. Oh, it's on the right side. I knew it was a bucket. We immediately get some food. That's not that bad. If we go into town, there are 2 there. Yeah, we'll do that first. So the one we just did was number 1. Number 2 is behind the fence there, but we'll first do these 2 here. We go towards this blue car. We go left, and then as well in here is one. This is number 3 on the map. And then next to the dumpster across the road is number 4. Is cross for days if you're on the Jaeger quest. I'm not 100% sure where number 5 is, but we'll figure it out. Somewhere on the end of the road. Oh, let me have a look. It's on a fence somewhere. Oh, it's there. It's inside. There we go. This is number 5 on the map. That's what this thing is referred to. You can sort of recognize it by that thing, I guess. Go back out the way we came. That always makes it easier. And that is sort of it in town here, Groundstash wise. We just have the one number 2, which is when you go outside of town towards the swamp area where we spawned in a way. And that one is somewhere around here, if I'm not mistaken. There we go. This is number 2 on the map. We'll take some drinks. We got an 5-7. Often find that thing here. We're gonna follow the road here. This one I don't know exactly. That's number 6 thing. It's somewhere here. It's too close to the house. I don't immediately see it. I know it's on some planks, but there it is in the corner. This is number 6 on the map. We find a roller here. Some fuel. We're gonna get heavy here. That's for sure. We go back to the road. And we have a couple here. Yeah, we're in the swamp area. So we kind of get a little bit stuck here. Number 7 is on that house here somewhere. I don't know exactly where. As I said, I'm not so familiar with these things. Let's have a look. It's either here or it's on the other side. I'm guessing it's on the other side. Okay, can't get over it. Somewhere next to the building, I know that, but all the way in the corner? Nope. Or is it that broken one? All these houses look alike here, that's a problem. We can loot all these places inside, of course. Not such a good map that we have to work with. We're looking for a house with a little shed next to it. By the looks of it. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. That one. Why didn't we see it the first time? Oh, because we were standing on it. That's why we didn't see it the first time. Med tools, USBs. USBs you can use to make green batteries. The rest is more quest-wise. So yeah, I checked that corner here, but I was standing on it. That's why I couldn't find it. On the thing with the bolt here. So this is number 7. And now I need to have a look on the situation here. 1, 2. From what side did we came? From over there. So it's behind that one. You can obviously walk on the wood, then you go faster. Because now we are sort of plowing through the swamp area, which means we get stuck a little bit. And then number 8 should be somewhere behind this one. Or maybe even inside, who knows. Yeah, it's inside. Inside a little side building. because of the fuel, we are already pretty full, actually. So that is number 8. And then we have the search one. The search is over there. I am pretty sure there's another one which is not even on the map, which was related to that church. Don't know exactly where it is, but I think it's in this pile of... I remember that one from when I was running around here. And I remember it because I was like, there was a scap hiding here somewhere. But I can't even jump on here. I'm pretty sure there's one there somewhere. On the other side of the church, there is one what they call number 9 on this map. But that is just a bucket in the open field in a way. So we're gonna go out of the swamp so that we can move a little bit. I'm gonna go back towards the cottages. And now I need to check myself. It's one of these. It's one of these hail bale thingies. I don't know which one it is. One of them has a bucket next to it. Probably the one near the cottages. That's where the boss can spawn. Would be my guess. This is the closest to the cottage, so would not surprise me with one of these here. But yeah, I don't find this the ideal map. The map is a bit too big to do Groundstashes runs, and that's why I don't really know these. Oh, here we found it. It's no surprise that it's the one which is facing the cottages, because that's where the boss can be hanging out. So looking towards the cottages, you have the tractor in between. So this is the one. So that's sort of the town and the swamp area. There are a few more on the left. We more or less gonna ignore those. There are only 2 or 3 there, which is not ideal. And here we have one, I'm pretty sure, next to the blue fence somewhere in a bush. And it's always a matter of which bush is it. I'm assuming it's this one, but I could be wrong. Okay, other side. It could also be inside. Can't remember that. Also makes sense. They're so hard to spot. It's not even a Groundstash wooden plank, it's a bucket. So it's inside the fences this time. Yeah, this is selling for a bit of money, not super. This is one of those things you can't really implement it properly into your loot run. The way we came here now. The same for this one. There is There is one there on that little island, but there is only one way in that island, and that's if you go all the way around. Because I don't think, we can try, but I don't think you can go through this water. The wooden planks there kind of suggest that you could walk, but we'll try it. If this is possible, then you can implement it. But if we have to go around, which I think you need to do, I think this is a hidden wall. Yep. So yeah, it's over there, but you have to go all the way around the little lake, which is not that ideal, to be honest. And then there is another one here somewhere, but I need to look how that looks exactly. I don't even know if that thing is still there. We're looking for some little wooden building, and it's next to it. But I can't even recall there being a building here. I guess it's that thing here. The remains of a building. And where's the doors? Over here. I never come through here. I didn't even know there was like some sort of remains of a building. We already lost 10 minutes, so this is not ideal. You can do the village, you can do the swamp area, and then I would go immediately for bus stop or something. The same for Scap Island. There is a ground stash next to the garage. Over there, that garage. So you can check that if you want, but it's not ideal, obviously. So we're just gonna run on the beach. Behind one of these rocks is also a bucket. I think it's the big one here. This is also one of those we already did a lot of running and we only got like a couple of them. And that's why I usually, in general, as I mentioned before, I do my loot runs on customs. There are 27 ground stashes and they are all, in a way, pretty close to each other. Like here, for instance, now, yeah, we get a few together in town, about 5. And then you get about 4 or 5 in the swamp area. And that's it. And then you have one in the fence on the cottages, you have one on that little building, you have one on the island, and you have one there. And then you have to run to those blue changing cabins over there, all the way for the next one. So there is a lot of running involved here to get from one ground stash to another. So you can implement them in your run if you have a shoreline spawn and you spawn somewhere in town, then you can do those 5, obviously. If you spawn somewhere on customs site, then there are also a couple of there that you can do. That all makes sense. Oh, what's past it? You need to go in that changing cabin here. Another bucket. That headset is loud as hell. I hate it. Never ever use it. If you have no other loot, then you can pick it up, and that's all fine. We also need to eat something, by the looks of it. The next one is probably the worst of all. But you can, yeah, you can always check it, right? If you clear out this pier thing here, the boss can be here. There are some filing cabinets, there are safes upstairs. In here you have a cash register, so you can loot that. There is, I think there's some loot spawns in the back room as well. You can find some stuff in the garage here. Not sure, loot toolbox or something. Maybe some loot spawns. Or not even anything. And then you can go to that little tower here, which gives you a view on the terminal, which is the map. And if you stay next to it here, you have another bucket. But making this come into your loot run is not that ideal. We'll pick this up. I think the helmet is worth more, but nevertheless. The problem you have here is now you're stuck here. That's the terminal map, which will come in later, which is a harbor, as far as I know. You can loot something here. There are some boxes up there that you can loot as well, but then you're stuck here. They should make like some little bridge or something towards that construction site. Now we have to go all the way around again. So this stash, I just showed it, but it's not something that I would advise you to implement in your run. Because you're gonna loot over there, you're gonna lose time. You're gonna lose like several minutes just to get to that one stash. Then you can just ignore that and go upstairs. Here there are 2 safes for which you do not need a key. So then it's better to just do those. I think in general, if you do stashes on this map, then I think that if you just stay alongside the beach, which is not even such a bad idea. That would be my advice. If you spawn on custom sites, you can loot a few here of the stashes. Maybe if the pier is clear, you can get a few scav kills there if you need them. Things like that. That would help you a little bit. So here they are pretty much spread out in a way. And you always have the time limitation here. It is a 15-minute map, but you need it because it's pretty spread out. That's why some people sometimes refer to it as Shoreline instead of Shoreline. There is one more stash which is close to the weather station over there. But that is also a bit out of the way. As you can see, we did a lot of looting already in a way on my account. A lot of running. We are level 34 endurance, we have like level 18 strength or so. It's not that we have been grinding those. Now I don't even know. There is a stash in one of these tire piles. But I think it's behind the cabins, I think. There it is. So on Shoreline, people are like, yeah, you know, a lot of stashes. Yeah, there are indeed. There are like 37 or 38 or whatever it is. Go from construction site, you go to that rock. There is another one behind that you can sort of integrate. Now obviously you find some good stuff. We found some fuel, some red gunpowder. That is all fine. So it's not that they are not great or so, because we find some good loot in it, but it's a lot of running to get from one to another. The next thing we need to find is that drone thing. It's either here or it's next to the wooden thing. Let me have a look. It's next to here somewhere, I think. Next to this building is somewhere one. If I remember correctly. No, it's next to this thing here somewhere. Let's make sure we're not standing on it again. No, of course. All the way around. And it's on the last corner. Some green, we'll eat some food, I guess. Not even that important, but... We're just picking up some stuff and see if we can find a bit of decent money out of it, in a way. We can obviously drop this helmet and pick up this thing. It's probably more, a little bit worse. So yeah, we got a Raven, we got a roller, we got fuel, we got a red gunpowder, green gunpowder, we got a base, we got a 5.7, which is probably one of the best pistols out there. So it's not that we don't find anything, it's just a lot of running involved here. And that is a bit of the problem with that. Now, let me have a look. Where do we come from that side? Okay. There are two more here. There is one here somewhere, some bucket somewhere next to one of these trees here. And then there is another one which is sort of in the middle here, but we're just gonna ignore them. We're just gonna go to the road again. We can pick up this one, but this is the one next to the tree. This one is referred to on the map as 19, I think, or 21. Let me check it. 21, this one. So this is 21, then you have the one next to the drone over there, and then a bit more to the left is another one in a bush, which is 19 on the map. But the way we do it now, it's kinda okay. We still have a lot of time left. We could potentially implement 18 in it as well. But that's about it. There's no point in going any way higher. You could go to the tower. On the tower is also a ground stash. You can loot something. I think there's a weapon crate up there. Also a scab, obviously. If you run online, there might be some scab on that tower. There's usually also one on the road. But we have what's it called? Road at the rail bridge, which is a new extraction that they added. That probably has something to do with the fact they are working on the terminal map, which is on the other side of the river. And that's probably, that bridge is probably a way to go from one map to another. Now I'm trying to figure out where this 18 is. It is here somewhere, but... We have a hidden wall here, so I'm guessing it's this bush then. Yep, there it is. I thought it was closer to the water, but we can't go any further. Lipo beans, power bank. Got an MP5. We got some face shield, but we have an Altin face shield, which is worth more than that K1 is. We could potentially drop this helmet and take this one. It's a little bit better. So this is 18, and then we're gonna do the 2 on our extraction, which is on that bridge over there now. So out of the 37, we sort of came up with a bit of a route. We do swamp area, we do the little town, and then you come across the breach. Go to the pier, potentially. I would not go to that tower. I would implement a few more stashes on the resort site in my route, and then go that way. Instead of going all the way out, for instance, to Scaff Island to do that one stash, or go all the way to the tower on the pier to do that one stash. That is also not that advisable. There are two more here. One is a bucket, which is somewhere on these wooden things here. There it is. If we can find the pixel. Okay. We'll try it later from this side. We got a Glock, which we could potentially use. Not that bad. Probably one of the better budget guns. The 5.7 is the best pistol, together with the Shrimp and the USP, probably. And then we go towards here somewhere for the last one, which is one in a bush here somewhere. I think it's here. This bush, I think. The last one you can find. There it is. Let's see what this guy has for us. Some food. Fire steel. Okay. Deep fuel. We'll drop the Snickers. Deep fuel can go. We'll drop the mask. Metal parts can go. Money wise, we didn't do that bad. That is for sure. I do advise you, do not go on the sand there, because it's full of mines. The only mines you're gonna find on this map, but they are, yeah, those minefields are there for, I'm not sure how the lore or the story will go, but I think this is where you will meet Propor, one of your traders, eventually. And it's also gonna be a bit of a problem to get, because at this moment there is not much happening. But there was a lot of stuff happening if you looked at the story in the trailer that they sort of revealed. So it would not surprise me that at one moment in time that those towers are actually AI on it, on those machine guns. And then you need to get to the terminal map, which is over there. That still needs to come. They're still developing that, but you already see some buildings of it. That's your way to the terminal. And this is also road at the rail bridge, it says. So I'm assuming this barbed wire over time will disappear, and then you can just pass through to the terminal map later on, when everything is connected in a way. We got 2400 XP, and we got a bunch of stuff out of it. But it's, I don't know. We get some good loot, if you look at it like that. For a loot run, it's pretty okay. The problem that I have with this is that you need to run a lot from one stash to another. Even on wood, I didn't have that feeling. On woods, you sort of go from one stash to another pretty quickly. And on Shoreline, you have, especially that whole beach section, you really have the feeling, this is not that great. So if we look on this map, what did we do? We spawned in somewhere here, I think. So we went back to town first, and we did 1, 3, 4, 5, and then we did 2, which is not really there. It's more around here, sort of. That's the other thing that I've noticed on this map, that these numbers are not really correct. Then we did 6, which is also a bit more between those two houses than it actually shows the number. 7 was kind of okay once we found it. 8 was kind of okay. 9 we didn't do, because that is just a bucket in the open swamp area. And I am pretty sure that on this side of the church. I am pretty sure that there is another one. Then we went here. Eventually we found 10, which is one of those hail bales facing the blue tractor, facing the cottages. That's the hail bale where the bucket is. This one, we didn't check that one. That is a wooden plank. I remember that. 33 is inside the fence, in a bush. It's a bucket. And then we sort of went there. We didn't do 32, but I pointed it out. But you have to go around that lake, and it's sort of in the middle island. And then 31 is that remains of a wooden cabin that we just did. 30 is on the garages on Scaff Island. I pointed it out, but we didn't go there because, again, we have to walk. 29 we did. 28 is also on the beach. Then we went all the way to 27. This is also something I would not... It's just one bucket. I would not implement it unless there is not much happening on the pier, and then you can loot the safes there and 2 computers and all that kind of stuff. And if you have a bit of time left, then you could have a look on that crate and on that ground stash, but I wouldn't implement it. It would be better if there was a connection from this little tower island to construction. That would be a better, which also will be less of a clusterfuck. Because now if you go to the pier, people can camp this whole area. There are rocks over here, there is a gas station area, and you have to come back out. If you go in, you have to come back out. Unless you have the pier boat extraction, which most of the time is not even there. Now we moved along this road. We didn't do 37 because, again, this is one which is out of the way. You can implement that in your run if you want. You have one of the tanks that you need to mark for your quests. It's on a little bridge. It's sort of hanging on the bridge. This is the drunk tank, what they call that. And underneath there is a ground stash under that bridge. It's in the middle of the thing, so this one is not... 26 is not hard to find. 37, I don't even know where that is, to be honest. So we went along the road. We did 25, which is the bucket in the crane area, construction, what we call that. Then you sort of cross the road to 24, which is behind the rock. Then we went to the drone, which is next to the building. There's a little bit of a side door thing. That's where it is. We went all the way around that building here, and it turned out to be on this corner. Then we sort of went towards here somewhere. That's, I think, where 21 was. It's not here. It is somewhere here. These numbers are not correct. So that's why I also didn't bother with 19. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere in a bush. It's a ground stash. But there are a lot of bushes there, so you can always try to figure out where that one is. So we ignored that one. We just went to the tower, to the scaff tower here, and then we went to 18. We did that one. We did 22, which was a bucket, and 23, which is a ground stash. And especially now, that's not a bad idea to do. These two you can always check, because you have an extraction here called Route at the Rail Bridge, which is a new one. The CC temp is no longer there. They have removed that. It didn't work properly either. It was, at some point it worked, and then it was, when the light was on, it was open. But not very often that light was open. At a certain moment the light was bugged. So now they removed it, and they made a road at the rail bridge over here. Lighthouse here, I can't remember that. Being an extraction ever as a scav, maybe in the beginning. This one is definitely no longer there, I think. Because of course you have on that side now, you have a road to Lighthouse, to the Lighthouse map. That is an extraction, both for scav and PMC, and it's always open. So all of these here, ruined house fence, Svetley dead end, not that important anymore. You have Lighthouse here over now. Ruined road, that is basically the tunnel. That's sort of like in Lighthouse you have the southern road and the southern landslide. One is for PMC, one is for SCAF, but they're basically the same extraction. It's the same here. Ruined road is more or less the tunnel, and tunnel if you're a PMC. Ruined road if you are a scav. So that's sort of what we did. We did this 4 in the swamp area. We did number 10, which is on the hail bale. We did 33, we did 31, 29, 28, and then we came sort of deer. We did these 2 here, these 2, and then these 3 here. So this is sort of the southern route of Shoreline. But we had some decent loot. We had some gunpowder, we had fuel, we had a vase, we had a couple of streamers items. So it is something that you can do if you want to do something like this. I would not advise you to go up top there. You can loot some stuff here on the bus stop, and there is also one ground stash, number 12. And then you could potentially go that way, go through power station, loot a bit there, especially if you have the Heps key, not that bad. Then you can do the drunk trank, you can do 37 if you know where it is, and then go there and sort of did the same that we did. Do 20, 21, 24, 25, and these 3 here on the side. This 15 is one of them where you're gonna have to find it. It's like a plank in a bush. Yeah, there are many bushes over there. It's near the railroad, apparently, the old rails, but this one I don't even know where that is. Also same story. And then up north, it's not worth it, I think. Rock Patches is no longer there. That is also replaced by Path to Lighthouse over there. So going all the way up north there to do 13, which is behind the rock, 35 and 14, which is are like the only 3 over there in that whole area. That is even longer around. I would not advise you to do those. 34, if you do go to the resort, yeah, that is on the east entrance. There is a little rock, and just before the rock is a bush, and that's where the ground stash is. But that's the only thing on around the resort. So those 3 I would completely ignore if I would do a Shoreline ground stash run. I would concentrate on the ones on the bottom here, 25, 24, 21, 19. If you know where it is, you can implement it. Those are like 3 close together. You could potentially go to the tower and do that one, and sort of do 24, 21, 29, 17, 15, then go to 18, and then do these 2 and extract. That's a possibility. These 2 is a little bit of a group here that you can definitely do. And then you have the town and the swamp area, which you can also sort of implement. So then you have a group over here, you have a group here and here. That's fine. Those one on the top, if you're doing ground stashes, I would completely ignore, to be honest. I don't find, I don't know, not a super fan of Shoreline as it is. I find the map is stretched too long, I find. Although it's probably as long as something like Customs, or if you follow the road, or Lighthouse, it follow the road. That's maybe even longer. But there you have these stashes are closer to each other. And so then you have less of a feeling that you're sort of running behind your tail in a way. It's like these here, this is hopeless. You have one here, you need to do a lot of running, you're out of stamina. If you don't have elite strength before you even get to this stash. Then you do that one, then you sprint on, you're out of stamina again before you're on 28. I wouldn't even bother to go to 27, so just go straight to 25, 20. These are close to each other, then you can do these 3, that's fine, they are close. You can go straight to 18, and then do 22, 23, that's fine. But especially this line here, it's like, don't find it ideal. So this is, I wouldn't do a ground stash run on Shoreline, to be honest. I would do some run if you're doing a quest or so, then you can implement some of them. If you spawn in here and let's say you need to do the drones, then it's a different story. Then you can do those 4 on the swamp area, you mark that first drone, then you can do 13 and 35. You can do 14, you go all the way around, avoid the resort. Then you can do 16, 17, and then come to here to mark your second drone. Or pick up the SAS drive, I think you need to do there with that quest. And then you can pick up these 3 and go here and do those 3 and extract. In such a way you can implement the Shoreline ground stashes. But really doing a ground stash run as a PMC, it's not advisable, I think. As a scav, on the other hand, that's a different story. Because if you get one of these scav spawns over here, you scav in and you can get town. You can do 5 in town, you can do 4 in swamp area, and you can extract in path to lighthouse, and you are out. You just stay on that side of the map with the path to lighthouse always being there, and it's a pretty wide extraction. You can it's the whole area, that whole path area, just like in the lighthouse map itself. When you have path to shoreline, it's pretty wide extraction, so in that way it's pretty safe. It's not like here where you have to be really next to the train, otherwise you don't extract. There you have like that whole that wall is no longer there. They expanded it actually, so it's that whole hill area here that is all path to lighthouse extraction. So in that way you can do definitely some scav loot runs. You do these stashes, and then of course you also loot the houses for keys and such. You do the swamp area stashes, and a couple of these like in the search itself you can find some gold chains and stuff like that. Then you can loot all of that stuff and go out. So if you do this area and go out on path to lighthouse, that's not a bad idea. But doing a specific ground stash run on this map, I wouldn't do it. But we'll leave it at this. We did an attempt with the map on my second monitor, obviously, because this was one, as I said, I don't do these that much, so we had to search for a couple of them. If I do loot runs, those are pretty much the videos as I posted them in order, as how often I do them. So my first video was customs loot run with the ground stashes. That's what I mostly do. I sometimes go to lighthouse and do ground stashes. That was the second video that I posted. And then woods we posted earlier, and then now shoreline. Those are sort of the 4 maps where you can do the ground stashes. You could potentially go to interchange, but as I explained already in the woods video, there are some ground stashes outside all over the place. All these X's here, they are ground stashes on this map. So you can definitely do some ground stash run. That's not a problem. But the problem you have on the interchange is either you have some heavy gear dudes who are going to try to kill Killa inside the mall, or you have some low level players who are doing ground stashes. So and there are not that many. Yeah, there are, let's see, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yeah, about 20 or so. And it's also a long run. And very often you come to the conclusion like, oh, I'm running behind a guy. In other words, all of these ground stashes are empty because there is somebody on the map who's doing exactly the same as you do. Especially if you go in as a scav. There are many people scavving in there. Either they go in for Goshen to quickly get some food, or they do these ground stashes. So I'm not going to do a video on the interchange ground stash. Most people know where they are, and that's already the problem as it is. Usually they are already empty because somebody is ahead of you. So yeah, interchange I would not advise you to do ground stash runs. If we order them from videos that I posted now, yeah, pretty much as I posted them in order. That's how I do them. I'm a customs guy. I find most of my stuff. I'm level 40. I have found everything what I needed for quest on customs. And also looting wise, with the scav runs, I'm always on customs most of the time. So I would put customs for sure on 1. All of these, they are spread out over the map, but they are all pretty close to each other. And no matter where you spawn, you will always have a couple very nearby. So that's definitely my number 1 for ground stashes. Number 2 is probably the lighthouse, for the simple reason that everybody's either they're farming the rogues on the rogue camp, or they are doing the chalets or the towns here. So if you can do the beach run here with those, as I shown in that video. We had a south spawn when we did that video. So we did these 2 here, these 3 here even, and then we came back down. We did these 3, 4, 5, 6 here, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you can go out in northern extraction. I went around and did also these two and also those, and then we went out in part to Shoreline. So we sorted it around the whole map in that video. And as I mentioned before, many people are doing these kind of things in the road camp and the chalets and so. So what you have in Lighthouse is, especially now, it's a relatively new map. Most people don't even know where the Groundstashes are. So you usually find some good loot in there. Even if it's only those 3, 4, 5 here on your way out. You can always implement those. So that's definitely number 2 for me when it comes to Groundstashes. Woods is, it's also a large area. But it will definitely put it on number 3 for Groundstashes. Because they are all, you never have a feeling like I have on Shoreline. Especially on that beach area on Shoreline. You have a feeling that you're running just to get to a bucket. While on Woods you can go from one to another and they're all pretty close by, and it sort of goes with a certain flow. And we did a run here, did these two, went all the way around. We did all of these on around the lake area. We picked up these two. We did this one. These apparently there is another one here, which I didn't even check. And then we did this one, and we went out in outskirts. So that's sort of like pretty good run, and we had some pretty good loot. That's for the woods, so that will be on 3. And then if you have 37 over here, so yeah, you will always find some ground stash on Shoreline. But I'm not a fan of it. I find that this road is, and it probably has to do with that's like 1, 2, 3. That's it on the roadside. So you have a feeling that you're losing time here while you're walking or sprinting here on this road. This is a pretty good group, and then over here is also a pretty good group. But it's that going from one group to the other, that's where you really feel like I'm losing time here. But you can definitely do it. So, but yeah, it's just personally, it's not my thing. I'm mainly running customs. From time to time I do Lighthouse. Especially as a scav, and woods I sometimes do, especially when I need some food, and so I either go Lighthouse or woods for the loot run. For all other stuff I just run customs most of the time. If you avoid fortress and dorms, some people are afraid of customs, or they find it like, that's probably because they don't know the map well enough. But if you avoid the dorms and you avoid fortress, it's a pretty good looting map, and it's underrated and underestimated by many people. They usually do Shoreline and woods and even interchange rather than going to customs. And I'm pretty sure that I can find better stuff in woods, pretty much. We have 32 million. A lot of it comes from looting on customs. See, some people, they are constantly running interchange, and it's not like they play less than me or so. They're constantly learning interchange and Shoreline, and they're running around with 5 or 10 million on their account. So I still go by the fact that customs is the way to go when it comes to looting. I did it this wipe, I did it previous wipe. I mainly run customs, and that goes pretty smooth. We are almost level 39. In the last couple of days, we did a bit of racing and so in other games. So it's not like we played that much. If we look at the overall, yeah, I don't think it resets with the wipe. So I have 1360 hours in the game, but I think this is the only thing which doesn't reset with the wipe. So it keeps counting. But other than that, we did 500 raids, and I'm pretty sure we did pretty similar on our scav. So about 1,000 raids in this wipe, and we have a 30 million sitting there. This not important. We are just going out for loot. Very often we go out like I was running around here in this video with a pistol and some low gear. That of course means that from time to time you get killed. This is the PMC. We just do some quests from time to time on that PMC, and other than that we do the scav runs. If I cannot bring it up because yeah, we should have a look actually now that we are here. We go scav, customs, afternoon. So we had like a 26% survival rate or something on our PMC. Not even that great. That is of course because we're not paying attention. If I do a PMC run, I'm not going in to kill whatever. I'm just going in to get my quests done. And if we run into some chat, so be it. But I can't show you the stats without doing quickly a scav run online. Because you can check your stats for your scav, but only when you're online. You can go into that overall menu again and it will show you your stats as a scav. So that's what we will do and see what that number is telling us. I'm pretty sure this is higher than 26% on our scav. It's probably going to be the opposite of 100. We die 75% and 25% survival on our PMC, mainly when we are questing. And that is because I just focus on the quest then and I go in with like some low gear just with only one goal, trying to get the quest done. We can completely do that otherwise. That's why I always say don't go by the numbers. There are some chats out there with 60, 70, 80%. And some of them know less about the game than I do. But there are all kind of circumstances which goes in those numbers. So survivor rate and all that kind of stuff, or KD, doesn't even matter a thing. There are some people who are constantly running duos and trios and quads. Yeah, then you obviously already have a very high chance of survival compared to somebody who's running around solo and runs into those things. Here we have the scav runs where we have a 74% survival rate out of 525. So I almost, I think we had 526 on our PMC. So I always do PMC, scav, PMC, scav, pretty much what it comes down to. And then you can see we have a 70% survival rate on our scav, and our KD is 0.22. And why is it 0.22? Because if I play as a scav, I don't shoot anything. And why don't we shoot anything? That is obviously for scav karma to get that thing as quickly as possible to 6.0. Which means we don't shoot anything. Which means you can also not have a KD. Does it show the kills? Yeah, we have 28 kills on our 500 scav runs. We have 28 kills. And that's because that's the way it goes. We do these loot runs, we stay away from dorms, we stay away from fortress, we do not run into these PMCs. And that is pretty much how it goes. Anyway, we'll leave it at this for this video. I just looted up the scav here, loaded it into the screen so that we could show you the loot ratings in a way, because this is what you do on your scav. These are your money makers. And if you try to make money, this scav percentage does matter. Or you can go in as scav and then, or in as a chat, heavy geared, try to get kills and go for PvP. Then it's the other way around, of course. Then you want to get your 70 or 75% on your PMC. It's decide to you yourself, obviously, how do you want to play. Anyway, that will be it. The Shoreline Groundstashes, don't find it ideal. I don't find the ideal routes there. Especially going from west to east is a long road with only a few Groundstashes. It's not ideal for a Groundstashes run, in my opinion. I go customs, lighthouse, woods, and then maybe Shoreline. And then, as last resort, maybe interchange. That will be it for this one. We'll see what we come up with the next time. I might do some more videos about this game, but then more about gameplay or so. The Groundstashes runs we sorta had. The ones with the most Groundstashes we have covered. Customs, lighthouse, woods and Shoreline. We could potentially do interchange, but usually they are empty because somebody is ahead of you doing exactly the same. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.